I started streaming Roblox about a year ago, and I wanted to share 5 things I learned about the gaming landscape, live streaming, and the next generation of gamers as a whole. I think the first thing to get into is how Roblox has stayed relevant this whole time. The first time I ever heard about Roblox, I thought it was like a Mega Bloks game. Like, you know how they had Lego Harry Potters and Star Wars and all that stuff? I thought it was like a Mega Bloks version of it. I didn't know that it was his own thing. So I heard about it, like my nephews played. I heard people having kids who played it. You see random YouTube shorts about people playing it. I didn't really know what was going on. But I started playing on my live streams because so many viewers recommended giving it a shot. And it slowly started to make sense why it became so popular and why it still has such a dedicated audience to this day. I grew up playing Nintendo 64, Game Boys, Game Boy Advance. You would each need your own Game Boy, you would need your own copy of the game, and you'd need a link cable to attach them together. Wireless stuff didn't even exist back then. No Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi or anything. Now, I'm not trying to be like a back in my day kind of guy, but I'm just trying to show how much effort it took to play video games with your friends back then. The thing about Roblox is that it's absolutely free. If you have an internet connection and anything with a screen, you can play Roblox basically. But it ends up not being as free as they initially promised, and we'll get into that. Now you could just log into your Roblox account. You could see who's already online and what they're playing. You can invite friends to games through the app. There's voice chat, so you don't need a separate app to call through. And not only can you play with your friends from real life, you can make friends through the game. So it's its own little ecosystem, which basically it's slowly transformed into the YouTube of video games. So if you make a Roblox account, you could sign in and you're automatically greeted with a bunch of thumbnails and titles for a bunch of different games you could play with your friends. The kids grew up playing these games and they realized, oh wait, we can make our own games. So that's what they did. So there's a lot of games made by kids and the kids are the ones playing it. But then those kids get older and they get better at making games and they end up making better games. And they inspire other players to make new games that are even better than the old games. And now there's all kinds of games on Roblox. There's platformers, there's RPGs, there's fighting games, there's racing games, there's puzzle games, there's idle games, there's gambling games, we'll get into that. And there's games of every genre, just with different versions of it. And if there's not a game for it, you can go make it right now, which gives it the added benefit of adaptability. Let's say there's a new horror game that's really getting popular with streamers, but it costs $5 to play. There's a lot of people without consoles or PCs who aren't going to be able to play it, but give it 3 or 5 days, and I guarantee you there's going to be a Roblox version of it that you can play for free with your friends. For example, that happened with a game called Buckshot Roulette. It's a really edgy turn-based game that you play with a computer that got really popular on streaming, but it was $3 or $5 to play it on Steam. But I think it was less than a week there was a Roblox version that you can play with your friends for free on your phone. So AAA developers like Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, they spend years making these huge AAA $70 experiences. But because they take so long to make, they can't be as innovative as indie game developers who charge like anywhere between $5 to $20 a game. Smaller teams and smaller games, but they're based off of new creative ideas that generate interest. Now shrink that down even more and make it absolutely free, and then you get Roblox, where you could create a brand new idea for a game and it could go completely viral overnight. And if you do that and you do it well, you can make a living off of it. In the same way as YouTube, you got to make sure your thumbnail is right. You have to have the interesting title. You have to give people a reason to play your game. And then if it gets enough shares and enough interest, you can then sell items in the game. I don't know exactly. I haven't made my own game. Maybe we'll make a separate video off of that. And not only can you make games, you can make user-generated items. So for old people like me, a Roblox avatar is basically like a MySpace page for Roblox. You can make it look however you want it. You can add your favorite games so people know what you like. But one thing that makes it different is that you can buy items that other players make to customize your character and to express yourself. For example, a viewer named Charlie made a shirt with my name on it. So naturally, I put it on my character when I first started. So in a way, it's kind of turned into digital merch that viewers of mine will wear just to show that they're a fan of mine. And Charlie gets some money from that because he made the shirt. Which goes into the second thing I want to talk about, online identity. In Roblox, your avatar is a physical representation of your online persona. So you can try out different ways of expressing yourself without the fear of rejection like you would have in real life, which everyone kind of tries out different outfits and stuff in real life. You know, maybe one day you tried a new hairstyle and your friend makes fun of it and then you never do it again. You can make yourself look cool. You can make yourself look silly. You can make yourself look like Shrek or a giant hamster or a little rat. There's really endless ways to express yourself in Roblox. You can use different usernames to express yourself and be known as whoever you want to be. You can use different media references to showcase your favorite bands or shows or games. And it kind of makes your interests and personality more the forefront of who you are as a person, rather than just your looks that you have no control over in real life. There's a lot of conversation about gender identity and all of that stuff going on with the newer generations today. I'm not going to go too deep because I am still pretty ignorant in this kind of stuff, but it makes it so like having pronouns in your bio actually is like the most logical and reasonable thing to do. It's not like some kind of political signifier anymore, because you could be anyone you want. I need to ask what your pronouns are if I want to know what to call you if you're a monkey or a little rat or whatever this is. And it's also just as a streamer, it's the same thing with like usernames in chat. I don't always know like what pronouns people want me to call them as, so I just straight up ask. And it's really not as awkward as a lot of old people make it out to be. And in a way, this can kind of be closer to your authentic self than who you are in real life because you're 100% in control of it. Although it's a different kind of authenticity than what older generations are used to. Which brings me to the third topic. New generations are much more aware of their digital footprint. They make their personal information much less available to other people. For example, older generations like me, once we got Facebook, we were liking everything. All of our interests were shown. We were sharing constant pictures of ourselves. We were checking into real life locations like someone wanted to know we were at Domino's that second. We were showing off the food we were eating. We were showing off different objects we bought. We were showing off trips we were going on. It was all like me, like me focused. Look at me with this filter on. Isn't this funny? It really is, looking back at it, it's like if you gave a monkey a phone. For us, it was kind of like a new toy to play with. It didn't really feel like a new world was emerging, which new generations like to show off their digital objects. They tie games to their personality. I played this game called Dandy's World, so I'm going to dress up like a character from that game so people know the reference when they see me playing a game and we have something to talk about. Or, oh, I hate Grow a Garden. That game stinks. Whoever plays Grow a Garden is lame and I'm definitely not that. Or like, hey, I'm an old generation Roblox player and you guys are new generation Roblox players and you guys don't know how it used to be. It was way better back then. I miss the old Roblox. This is how me and my sisters decided to make our Roblox characters. They look very similar to us. Same hairstyles, same skin tones. We're wearing the type of clothes we might wear in real life. We're displaying things on our clothes that we would like in real life. Whereas here's some of my viewers might want to express themselves. One of my viewers is a shark. One of them some kind of skeleton leg, arm, energy drink, domino hat guy, pink skeleton shirt. This guy's just a Teletubby, hot dog backpack man. They could be referencing a million things that it's impossible for someone to decode unless you know the references. But of course, Roblox has its bad parts too. Like you don't want to be too sucked into the online world that you completely ignore your real social life. And because so many people identify with their Roblox avatars and the games that they play, it creates kind of an icky relationship between the game makers and the players sometimes. Like microtransactions, where you're playing a game but you could spend real life money to progress through the game or to level up in the game. How your sense of identity is through an item you want on the Roblox shop, but you have to pay real money to get that. Which clothes cost money in real life, so I don't know how bad that is. But and games can totally take advantage of the microtransactions by being purely pay to win. Pay to win meaning basically what you think it means. I guess you just pay $100, beat the game, and then move on to the next one. I don't know. Maybe we'll dive into how those people work on a separate video. And there's also really addictive gameplay loops. Some games exist purely just to watch a number go up and make your brain feel good. Because you're earning points in this game, it gives you a sense of progression. Your dopamine goes crazy. And then these games also can have loot box mechanics, which if you're unfamiliar with this, is basically gambling for kids. And it is as bad as it sounds. Basically, you could pay real money to have a chance at getting a super rare item. Let's say you spend $5 and you get 5 loot boxes. This gives you 5 chances to get a very rare, valuable item. And a lot of times you can get these through just progressing in the game and leveling up. But most of the time, if these are in a game, there are ways to just spend money to buy the loot boxes. You're not guaranteed to get that item at all. And there are some people who might spend $50 and not get the item. So the obvious problems are gambling addiction in that case. By the time you were to realize it was a problem, it's already gone too far. And I'm just putting this out there because you might not have anyone in your life who realizes what these kind of games are. Long story short, gambling is made for you to lose so they can make money off of you. And on Roblox, once you spend the money, you know you're not getting any money back. You're just getting items in a game. If you're not careful, this can really progress into a gambling addiction, which is super serious. And I think it's something you could talk to your parents about or a trusted adult. If you find yourself really stuck to these kind of games, it's nothing to joke around about. But besides that, even if it's not gambling related, it's normalizing having a game that's free, but you have to pay to keep it up. To the point where now it's popular enough that game developers are just going to make games purely for profit. And this isn't anything new. It happens with any kind of movement. Once something is popular enough, you could then sell things to that group. Once you can sell things to the group, now it's marketable. And once something's marketable, more people come into it to try to sell people to find ways to get it more marketable and more popular until it just becomes mainstream and it's lame. Now we got some of the bad stuff away. Let's wrap it up with number 5, community building. So there's an idea called the third space. It's a place where you can hang out with friends outside of just home, work, or school. Think of like a park or a library where you can just hang out and spend time with friends. It's like a new social media covered in a video game wrapping paper. It's like the new online chat room or nightly phone call with friends. If you're my age, it's kind of like going to the Apple store with friends and trying out photo booth on the new iPads. But because it's online, it kind of works as an equalizer between race, gender, nationality, where people are judged off their interests and their personalities and not what they look like on the outside. So you can build all kind of communities around different games, platforms. You can make new friends in the game. And there's streaming communities. This is where I come in. I've been making videos on YouTube for about 5 or 6 years now, and they used to have nothing to do with gaming. But one day I made a video video on Anouk Adetwan. He was the guy who was getting really popular on TikTok. He did the chestnuts roping on open fire. You know that guy? I uploaded a clip to that video on TikTok and it completely blew up. It's my first video to get 1 million views. And at the time, you needed to have over 1,000 followers to live stream on TikTok. And that video got me there. So I started streaming on there and I got a webcam and then I got a microphone and a new PC and we started figuring it out. I started playing just games I was interested in, random streaming games that were fun to play on itch.io, horror games that we had fun getting jump scared at, kind of whatever was trending at the time. But my viewers kept asking for Roblox over and over and over. And I started playing and that's what led to me learning about all this stuff I just talked about. And as a live streamer, you kind of have to have a niche. So for me, Roblox was the perfect niche to get into because it's any game you could ever want. And I've always been someone who just can't stick to the same game for too long. You know, I just like a lot of variation. I get bored with stuff very easily. But it also shaped my own online persona and how I wanted to be seen online. I kind of realized, hey, I'm playing a kid's game, so there's probably going to be kids watching. Maybe I should try to be a positive role model for any kids watching. And I've always kind of seen what I put online as like, would I be embarrassed if my grandma saw this or not? And it's just a lot of fun to play with viewers. Having new viewers pop into the stream and seeing their crazy avatars always cracks me up. There's no other game like it. And Roblox might not always be the only thing I'm ever streaming, but I kind of figured I'd have to be the Roblox guy to start before I could be something else. So just with all the negative stuff being thrown at the new generation, always being on their phone, always playing games, I just wanted to bring up some good that could come out of it. And I didn't harp on too much of the bad because I think a lot of it is very obvious. And I do want to bring it out for the younger people out there who play Roblox. You are getting a lot of social skills online through hanging out with your friends like that and meeting new people. You want to make sure that you're still building social skills in real life with real people. The older generations are talking trash. They say you guys have short attention spans. They're saying you guys can't operate in the real world. They're saying you guys aren't social enough. You're always on your phones. Even though I see a lot more old people on their phones in public than younger people these days. But to the older generation watching this, I think we need to pay more attention to what people are actually using their phones for. Forming connections, building relationships, you're playing with your friends. You can build games and businesses. A lot of times you can be on your phone just planning out the next time you're going to see each other in real life. But you got to find a balance. The next time you're in an awkward situation, you feel that urge drawing you to your phone to avoid it. Maybe just sit and let yourself feel awkward instead. And you realize it's really not that bad. But the last thing I'll say to the younger generation, you guys got to prove them wrong. I don't think you guys have worse attention spans. I think you're just better at filtering out what is worth your time. And I think the growth of live streaming proves this. Maybe an older person can be mad that a Gen Zer is not going to pay attention to the full length of the movie like Casablanca, but they just finished watching a 5-hour queso stream. I think you guys are a lot more receptive to new ideas and a lot less hateful towards people who are different than you. And I think that's the main thing I learned about playing Roblox this last year. I've met a lot of new people from all around the world. Shout out Southeast Asia. And with games like Grow Gardens just completely breaking all concurrent player records of all time, it really feels like Roblox is starting this brand new era where it's just for everyone now. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to tune in for the next live stream, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment if there's anything in this video that you want me to dive deeper into, or just any other video ideas like this where I could just talk to the camera and hang out with y'all. See ya. Bye-bye.